Hello and welcome to the Real Talk and Banter podcast, the movie podcast where we discuss and review films that are at least a decade old. I'm Amari Williams.
And I'm Jay Richardson.
And we are back from a little hiatus. Took a little time for the holidays. We missed you all, but we are so excited to be back. How were your holidays?
Mine were excelente.
Excelente. Oh, okay. Did you learn some Spanish over the holidays?
That's exactly what I did. I learned that word.
Okay, all right.
And
that's it.
That's all I did. That was it. That's all I got.
Okay.
What about you, sir? What about you? Something big happened for you, huh?
Yes. My daughter was born.
Hey!
Yes. So now I'm a father of two. A girl dad, yep. Father of two. Come on now, let's get it.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm already.
You know, we grew up together. I feel like I always pictured you as like an uncle, but never a dad. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know why. Like conceptually, it totally makes sense that you have a bunch of freaking kids, like conceptually. But
I have two, not a bunch. I have two.
I'm just saying. I'm expecting at least 5 by the time you're done, but no big deal. Either way.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know. I just always saw you as like the cool uncle, but you know, that's just me.
Oh, well, hey. Oh, man, no.
Now you.
I feel like I've always known I was going to be a dad. Like, that's like, was going to happen, you know? So here I am, self-fulfilling prophecy.
But, you know, hey.
Whoa. I was going to say something. It's going to be really dirty. I don't want to do that. Anyway.
My mom listens to this.
So we are back. We have a little bit of a special treat for those followers. There's the few people that follow us, you know. We normally do drops every other week, but seeing as it is Black History Month, 2 episodes would not cut it. So we're going to do 4 straight episodes, 4 Fridays in a row, all black films. Some of them might be historical. Some of them may just be part of the culture, just celebrating Black actors and directors. So we are very excited to bring that to you all. And next week's episode, we actually have special guests from the Relly and Deli podcast. We will be doing a collaboration episode with them. 2 episodes, one on our feed and one on their feed. So please check that out. We have some big things in store for y'all for this month and hopefully for the whole of 2026. Yeah.
All right. So
our first movie was your selection, so I'll let you introduce the movie.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. So today, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Today, we're going to be talking about Glory. Not just a war movie.
Glory, hallelujah.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
That was it.
Oh, that was it.
Yep, that was it.
Okay. Glory, not just a war movie, not just a Civil War movie. This is kind of a movie that forced America to remember something they spent a long time ignoring. That Black Americans didn't just benefit from emancipation, they fought for it, right? So, I think a lot of folks saw this in school, maybe history class or something on a substitute teacher day.
Did.
I actually didn't. I don't know if I skipped that day. I've actually never seen Glory.
Okay.
So this is my first take of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Really?
Yep, never saw it.
This will be interesting.
Yep.
I think I've seen it twice before now, but both times was as a kid. Both times may have been in school, but I do remember watching it in school for sure. And I'm like, this is not for kids. I'm sorry. Like, what is what is going
is pretty gory.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh my God!
We also saw
they also showed us
and Amistad.
Roots. Yep.
Amistad
and Amistad.
Like, holy shit,
Ugh.
Amistad is rough.
My God.
I mean, Roots is obviously rough too, but Amistad is rough.
Yeah.
So
I doubt they're showing. Hey, I doubt they're not even showing that stuff these days. These kids are so soft these days. You can't show them this crap.
Yeah.
But they were giving us all the trauma back
all
then.
the trauma.
My God.
But I mean, hey, I think, I mean, and say what you will for a Caribbean, the education system in the Caribbean, which isn't great at all. I think we all benefited from not just the U.S. history, but the Caribbean history, which obviously included
Absolutely.
slavery. So like a lot of things people are learning
Mm-hmm.
about. We knew about because it was part of our curriculum to not just
Correct.
learn U.S. history because we're from the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, so that was part of the curriculum, but also the Caribbean history and everything that they went through. So
Yeah.
so kudos for that, and setting us up well for I guess knowledge and not being like, what the
I
hell,
don't
I
know.
never knew
Yeah.
that. Like, oh, you did it? Like,
Reduce our level of ignorance by a little bit, you
a
know?
tiny bit for sure.
Yeah.
But there's also
Yeah.
a ton of stuff that you still don't know about unless you take a real interest in things. So this is my first time watching this movie. We have for the director we have Edward Zwick, right? Zwick, is that how you say that? I think so.
That's correct.
Yeah. You have James Horner on music and score. And then we have our main characters. We have Colonel Shaw, played by Matthew Broderick, whose performance I could have done without, but whatever. You have Tripp.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't wait to discuss that.
You have Tripp, played by Denzel Washington. We all know this is his first Oscar win, so we'll get into that a little bit. You have Sergeant Rollins, played by Morgan Freeman, who also very strong performance, and they could have gone either or, but I could tell why Denzel got the nod for it. And then you have I think it was Private Thomas, played by Andre Barr.
Yes,
Brar,
Andre Barr.
which excellent. I mean, excellent actor. Of course, gone too soon. Brooklyn Nine-Nine for sure. But
no, 9-9.
9-9 for sure. And then you had Major Forbes, played by Cary Elwes, which I actually enjoyed his performance a lot better than Matthew Broderick. But we will get into that. So speaking of, we always like to throw little I would say little quizzes or trivia at each other when we can. So speaking of this, we have James Horner here, who did the score. And I'm
ready for this.
Oh, dang, you already know what I'm gonna ask?
I don't know what you're gonna ask, but I feel like I'm ready for it because I went down a small James Horner rabbit hole. But let's see what you got for
that
me.
means you're definitely gonna know this then. Damn!
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's the music. Come on.
No, first I was just gonna comment on this. The music, like in certain parts, superseded the movie in so many different ways. So, shout out to him. But also, James Horner didn't win an Oscar for this, but he did win an Oscar for an original song in what 1997 movie, and what song?
Oh gosh. 1997 movie.
This movie, I believe it might still hold as one of the, or if it's either one of or the most Oscar wins. So very popular movie in 1997. There's a very particular song for this movie that's, there's, if you've never seen it, you know this song. And James Horner actually wrote the score for this and this particular song.
You know what? Information overload. I was so surprised to see how much things James Horner had scored.
Yeah.
Like it's so
He's
much.
done a lot.
And I just remember being like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this guy, he's the man.
Yeah, I didn't know him at all. So
not by name.
By name, right by name, but I know his music. But yeah, I didn't know him by name either. So obviously in my research for the movie, I kind of did the same thing, did the rabbit hole. I was like, oh shit, you did a lot. And that's why I came across this little tidbit. I was like, this is my question right here. Because you're the music guy. So what is it?
I know. 1997. This is. Give me some hints. Give me some clues. It's of course it's a live action movie, right?
Yeah. This is a live action movie. Movie.
Genre. Give me a genre or something.
You know what? I don't even know what I would call was a tragedy. it was a
Oh
drama
gosh.
/ rom-com. So the singer is Canadian.
No, I'm blanking. What's the answer?
You're here forever, my dear. I don't know the words. I don't know. My heart will go on.
Titanic.
My heart will go
yes,
on.
for Titanic.
Yes, 1997.
Yeah.
James Cameron. Titanic, and yes, James Horner. I don't know if this was his first Oscar.
He has a couple
win for this one.
James Cameron collabs because he did Avatar as well.
Avatar as well. Yes. Yes.
It's just his filmography, his score, discography. What am I trying to say? His
discography.
His body of work
let's go for it.
Massive. Yeah. I was very surprised. Yeah, Titanic. That's a good one. That's a good pull.
All right, so let's get into it a little bit more. So, like I said, we got a huge ensemble of folks who are well known at that point. With Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, maybe I'm not sure if Andre Braugher was very well known at that point, but yeah, Matthew Broderick.
No, I don't think he was.
And they're telling the story of the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, which is the first all-black regiment raised in the North during the Civil War.
You know what?
What's up?
It's not the first. So I did my Civil War history knowledge is not very good. And I know the movie is pushing it as the first, but I came across that there technically wasn't the first. There was this infantry, the first Kansas Colored Infantry Regiment was technically first. Did you see that at all?
No, I didn't see that.
It's just the 54th, I think, was most notable because of, I guess, some of their accomplishments and because that after the success of that regiment inspired so many more black regiments to be created, you know? So I guess this one was more impactful, influential, but they're technically not the first.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
All right, I just did a quick Wikipedia. That's how I passed college. So, yeah, it must be true.
I know.
It must be true.
Hey, right? Yeah. Yes. I did not read any dissertations about this.
Yeah.
I did not do any scholarly articles, but my very limited research tells me that they were the second one.
Yeah, okay. Like you have to, well, when you said the first, I thought about Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin, right? And how it, it's very, and nothing against Miss Rosa Parks at all, but obviously she wasn't the first person. And I actually bring this up because Claudette Colvin was just passed actually as well, but she was technically the first person to not give up her seat. But they didn't want to push her narrative because she was young. I think she was 15 or so or something like that. She was dark skinned, a little bit more dark skinned. I believe she was pregnant at the time or so, or really close to it. But yeah, they didn't feel like she'd be a good face of the civil rights movement. So,
and I knew that part of it, but I didn't know a lot about her details and background. But I did know Rosa Parks wasn't the first, and the reason she was chosen to be the face of that movement was just she was a better candidate, I guess, But along the same vein about being the first, more related to this whole Civil War stuff, did William Harvey Carney come up in your research?
No. What's up?
So he was a African American soldier during the Civil War. He received a Medal of Honor for saving the regimental color.
The regimental color. Yes. Even though he was
there's
wounded.
A little controversy. Because, well, not controversy, right? But some people like to say he was the first to receive it. But technically, he didn't receive his medal until 1900.
Yeah.
But there were blacks that received the medal as early as, I think, 1965. But his actions was the first documented action that was medal worthy.
Yeah.
Right? But for some reason, he didn't get it until like 37 years later.
I mean, some reason.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I did read up on him. The name just messed up on me, but yeah, I remember he picked the
Yeah, yeah.
colors. He was severely injured, but still dragged himself and the colors
Mm-hmm.
back to the federal line. So yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Which I guess his like famous quote is boy it never hit the ground or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Which he said the old flag never touched the
yeah,
ground,
yeah, yeah.
which is hilarious because I read that after I watched Glory
That
over,
shit was on the
and
ground repeatedly. It was just
you
dragged
straight
on the
up see
ground.
this guy dragging it through
They
the
might as well just rolled in it. It was just on the ground. Every time I turned around, it was on the ground. I was like, this is crazy.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Oh my
But
god.
yeah,
All
but
right.
the thing is, I mean, though Glory, depicted a real regiment and also a real battle, they also took some liberties as well. So, um,
Of
things
course,
weren't
yeah,
like,
of course. So, were any of the soldiers correct? I mean, real people aside from Shaw?
yeah, there were some real people
Like any of
in
the
it.
black soldiers?
No, none
The
of the
black
black
soldiers,
soldiers
I
were
mean.
real. No,
Okay,
none of
yeah.
them were real. They were like
What's that about?
closely, you know, off of
Probably
accounts.
like combinations
Yeah,
of people
yeah,
or
yeah, 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 yeah,
something,
yeah.
or
But there
but
weren't actual like people in
okay,
there,
that's
which is weird.
yeah.
Okay, so we started the movie, and I have to be honest. Matthew Broderick's voiceover annoyed me, and I actually tuned out for a good portion of it. I was like, whatever. Like I didn't give a shit what he was saying to his mom. I was like, okay. It really
Yeah,
didn't do anything for me. I don't know. How did you feel about it?
same. I mean, I listen. When I started preparing some notes before watching the
Uh-huh.
movie, and the first thing that threw me was that Matthew Broderick had first billing on the movie,
Yeah.
and for some reason I'm like, this is a Denzel movie, you know,
Mm.
and it's not. He's a supporting
Right, right, right,
character,
right,
you know.
right.
Again, I hadn't watched it since I was a child, so Denzel is a goat, right? So I just associated Glory with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw Matthew Broderick was top billing, I was like, that's interesting. And then the movie started, and there's this voiceover thing, and I mean, I did not care for anything Matthew Broderick was doing in this movie.
Oh, but when I
And
said it earlier, you was like, come on.
no, no. I was agreeing with you. I was
I thought
just,
you
I
had a
was
problem
saying,
with it.
no. Oh no, I was agreeing because I was just excited to talk to you about it because that was my one of my biggest takeaways from this movie. And I didn't know you hadn't seen it before, but I really wanted to talk to you about this specific thing, which is why did they decide to tell this movie from Matthew Broderick's point of view, from Colonel Shaw's point of view? To me, as good as this movie is and everything, it really suffered because of that. And definitely being an adult, not like an adult, you know, and just all we've gone through just in modern recent history and taking into the actual history of blacks in America and everything, I feel like it was a missed opportunity to make this movie a 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment movie.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's what it should have
Like
been.
the
I think that's
six
what they
triple
wanted
eight
to
type
do.
of thing with Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there was too much of Shaw, you know?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman barely had any roles, lines, like barely did a lot in the movie, but everything he did was so impactful.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Morgan Freeman, you know? And I had rather seen these group of men bonding with each other, going through their trials and tribulations, going through like learning how to become soldiers, just realizing that, you know, they're free kind of now, or they're fighting for their freedom. Like all that shit is way more interesting than Homeboy sending fucking letters to his mom being like, hey ma, I'm in charge of this army. Like I don't give a shit, dog. And when it got to the end and he's like leading his charge, and I'm, spoiler alert, you know, he gets shot or whatever, I felt nothing when he got killed. I was like, all right, you know, whatever. So I feel like the movie suffered a lot by them deciding to focus on Shaw and by giving Matthew Broderick the lead in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1989, right? Matthew Broderick is Obviously, very
Mm-hmm.
popular with Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Mm-hmm.
and thing like that. So I don't think he had the chops for it to like actually bring about the emotional capacity needed to actually feel something for him. He was just a white dude who
Mm-hmm.
was there and he just didn't have it. I mean, I'm nothing against Matthew Broderick. I mean, he's all right, I guess. I don't know. But he just didn't have it. It definitely needed someone more seasoned or just generally better. But, hey. Um
So, so is your argument not that the shark character should have been reduced? Is your argument that they should have casted it better?
Well, if so, you could go either or. Either it needed to be from the point of view of
Mm-hmm.
the men in the actual 54 regiment, like the infantrymen, or if it was going to
Yeah.
be told from that standpoint, then it needs to be told from a stronger voice. It's casted better.
Yeah.
So, and
Okay.
there needed to be some sort of growth. There was like zero growth for real. Like he
No.
just
Dude,
nothing. Yeah, I
he
don't.
fucking whipped the shit out of Denzel's
Yeah,
character, and then I don't know. I guess his growth was he got them shoes like in the next scene or some shit. But
yeah,
I'm like, dude,
yeah,
like I don't see you coming to. I don't know, man. I was like, am I supposed to like this guy? Like,
yeah,
I mean, he did. I don't know, behind closed doors, like advocate for his fucking infantry and stuff, his men. But
yeah.
I just, I don't know, man. I was having a hard time being like, just like giving a shit about this guy, and then he volunteered them. This is a change from history. He volunteered them to be in the vanguard to lead the march.
Fort Wagner.
What was a Saint Warden Fort Warden? Is what is Wagner
Wagner.
Fort
Yeah.
Wagner. But I think they were assigned to do that, right? Like they weren't.
I don't
There
know.
was no volunteering for
I didn't
that.
look up if it was if he rose his hand or if, they was like just they're part of the regiment, they had to go. I mean, either way, they went for this. But I thought they were gonna come up with some ingenious plan that only a person of color who had been in that scenario would have known, like, oh, there's a secret tunnelway or whatever, and we'll sneak up behind them. And I don't know. I was giving them way more credit than actually was happening, I guess. And then,
Yeah, no.
and then the end of that, but
It
I was
was
like,
just like,
oh,
hey,
okay.
it was like we'll be the sacrificial lambs. I mean, so that being said, I thought it was shot really well
Oh,
though.
hell yeah. Yeah,
Like
yes, 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 yes.
the plan was
Yeah.
dumb, but the scene was pretty
No, that was
awesome.
very good.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was cool. There was a lot of tension,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, who's gonna die?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, you're right. It was a little anticlimactic. Like I think
And then also, this is like
if
the last
they
15, maybe 10, 15 minutes of the movie. It's like, oh, okay.
correct, yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was saying like I think if it was more of they were like forced, like, hey, we're putting you and your nigger army in the front, and it's like what the fuck, like, and it was like something they didn't want to do, but we're gonna do it like honor and pride or something. Like if the movie played it that way, but instead they had Matthew Broderick be like, hey, we'll be the ones to do it. I'm like, are you trying to get everyone killed? That this is because they did say the only way to access it is to just go directly straight through, So it was always going to be a suicide mission.
Yeah.
So I feel like dramatically the tension would have been the stakes would have felt higher, or it would have felt more significant if they were ordered to go do this, and Matthew Broderick was like arguing that you're sacrificing these men and this, that, and the other, and then they all stand with him in solidarity, saying, hey, like we're gonna do what we have to do. We're fighting for freedom and all that stuff. Like that would have had a different vibe to it than just him being like, I'm gonna take these guys out here. No one asked, but I'll be the one to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Or yeah. Either
okay,
it'd have been more impactful. Either they come up with some like ingenious plan to like not have as many people die, or they are the like saving grace that pop up to like
yeah.
save the rest of the company or the regiment or whatever. So it'd have been.
No. I mean, they lost it in
Oh
real
yeah,
life.
they
They lost
lost.
a
They
battle in real
absolutely
life. So
lost. It was
yeah,
horrible. That was a bad idea, and
yeah.
yeah,
I
they
saw
never
that
took
the
Fort
fort.
Wagner.
I was just gonna say the same. Yeah, they never were able to capture that
No,
fort.
it's
So
just there. But Colonel Shaw has a base named after him, so in South Carolina. So good for him.
okay, all right. Well, hey, good stuff. I guess.
Oh, another fun fact. Ooh, I got another one for you. So
Okay.
much of the scenes, especially like the not the war scenes, but a lot of the like, let's say the scenes when officers are kind of interacting with each other, was shot in this very famous city in the South. This
Hmm.
same city, um, Forrest Gump was shot as well. The bench scene was also shot in this city. Do you know this city?
Oh, cool. Is it Savannah,
Hell
Georgia?
yeah, Savannah, Georgia. Look at you.
That was a guess, a shot in the dark.
Hey, you did
But
it.
I sat through the credits and I did see they listed Georgia was listed. I saw Florida as well. So that's why I guess Savannah. I actually read through the
Oh,
credits.
okay.
I don't
I did
know.
not read through the credits, but yes, yes. I actually recently went to Savannah, Georgia.
Nice.
It's a very pretty place.
Okay.
Like I actually enjoyed it a lot. So, all right. So I think another thing that set me off immediately off of Matthew Broderick was actually the first damn
Mm-hmm.
scene, when he was on the Battle of Antietam, and I guess he just fell asleep
Mm-hmm.
on the battlefield. I don't know what that was. I didn't see him get hit, aside from he had a nick on his neck.
No. Shrapnel or
Yeah, I saw the
something. I don't know.
shrapnel,
But
but I didn't see him like get hit in the back of the head or anything. Like, okay, he got knocked out. Man's looked like he just laid down and fell asleep, and I was like, "This is
I think he
wild."
was
I
cowering.
mean, hey,
Yeah, I thought he was playing dead,
is
right?
that what he was
That's what he was
doing?
doing.
I don't know what
That
that
was my
was.
read on the
I don't
situation.
know what that was,
So
but I mean, he never got up though. At some point, like it wasn't until, and again, this is the movie. I don't know about the truth to like what actually happened, but
yeah,
it wasn't until Morgan Freeman's character like hit him with the shovel a little, was like, and he like kind of like stirred. So I was like, what was happening there?
I guess I should have dug a little bit more in this like Civil War history stuff because we don't know how much of it is Hollywood and actual true accounts. But to my interpretation from the movie is that Shaw pussied out in battle. So I guess that's his growth, right? If you're looking for an arc for him, is in the
So
Battle of
he went from
Antietam,
falling
he
asleep
was
on
a
the battlefield
cowering
to
fool
running up to people
to
firing at
leading
him.
a
Okay,
charge. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
fine,
yeah, yeah.
fine, 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 fine.
I still don't care about it
I can
though.
settle for that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
what the
don't
hell that
know.
was. I mean, but he made Colonel because he was a captain at that point, so he made Colonel. So okay.
Yeah, but wasn't his dad like some big dog too or
Oh
something?
yeah, for sure. But I mean,
Like politically or
either
something?
way,
Yeah,
he
I
still
don't
made
know.
Colonel. So we'll give it to him. Either way, so we're in that. So I'm setting the scene for the tents. We're in the tent scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, there's these huge big dogs right now, and Denzel immediately stealing the scene. Like I was just drawn to
100%.
him immediately.
100%.
But I also was
100%.
like I don't know how to. I kind of put him in this like kind of anti-hero type of role he was in. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
did you feel that too?
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised to see how antagonistic he was
Right,
to his fellow infantrymen.
right.
Um, it I just wanted more Denzel in the movie. I mean, he was a supporting actor, so I guess he was always going to be have a limited role. But because I noted it took 18 minutes for us to see Denzel,
Mm.
but again,
It's
he's
not a
not
Denzel
the star of the
movie.
movie.
Let it
I
go.
know. Also, I couldn't. It was so because as he showed up, it was like, fuck yeah, Denzel is here.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that he was so antagonistic towards those guys, which is why I would have loved to see that growth and arc from him being like, F you house, ninjas and grow into being like, y'all a family,
Yeah.
right? And I'll fight and die for y'all. Like that. That's a way more interesting story. He said in it that he's like dummies and field hands. Ain't that a
Yeah,
bitch?
he was mad.
I
They
was
were
so
like, "Oh, you know he's
savage.
mute, right?" He's like, "Mute. You can't talk." Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh, that's too
Oh my
funny.
God. So we have Denzel Washington as Tripp. You can never say enough about Denzel Washington. It is why Denzel Washington is Denzel Washington. And obviously,
Hmm.
as we mentioned, he did win an Oscar for this role, his first one. And I
Mm-hmm.
100% believe that he deserved every bit of it. And that I think it was a toss up between Morgan Freeman. I think the problem is one of the things you said. Morgan Freeman just didn't have enough lines. When he was there, it was like, oh yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman, and this is what you get. But he just didn't have it, the way
Yeah.
Denzel had it. But also, I think what also tipped it off was, of course, the whipping scene or frogging scene. Frogging? Yes. Flogging?
Flogging,
Flogging,
flogging.
flogging. Thank you. I said frogging. Like, were they jumping around?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? The flogging scene, thank you. In which,
Mm-hmm.
to set the scene, Denzel, at this point, they're marching they're marching around either barefoot or with horrible kind of, essentially cloth for shoes. Denzel's feet are completely torn up. He starts to set the scene as if he just wants food, but it comes out that he actually wants to try to get a pair or steal a pair of actual shoes because his feet are completely torn up. So Denzel makes a plan to run
Mm-hmm.
away to a farm that's about a mile or so away. They catch him, of course. He comes back, and we have a very emotional scene in which the the Scottish dude whose name I don't know if he was a real guy actually. I don't remember. Um, but he was somebody. The Scottish dude say, "Hey, this is the
Mm-hmm.
punishment for desertion. They have to be flogged." Uh, of Then we have Frauder coming up and saying, "Hey, we probably shouldn't do that, considering some of these men have been slaves or were slaves or or whatever. So we probably shouldn't do that." And he was like, "Ah, don't question me." This is Broderick. So don't question me. Don't question my authority. And then he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, whatever you say, massa." Well, I'll go around down to the island. I was dying. Like I love that part.
I was like, I was like, whoa, buddy, easy.
I love that
I
part.
get your points, but I was like, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
But I got where he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, that was all good. At first, I didn't like that was Elvis' character you're talking about, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Forbes. Yeah. At first, I didn't care for him, and then I really enjoyed what he was doing. I think I just kind of misread him early on.
Yes, no, I agree with
But
that.
that was
I agree with that.
okay.
Because in the
Yeah,
beginning, I thought he was gonna be the one to like not see them as people and be kind of like, "What are we doing?
yeah.
They don't deserve here or whatever." But almost immediately it was flipped, and Broderick or Colonel
And
Shaw was the
that was
one.
jarring for
Yeah,
me.
it was weird.
Yeah, because Shaw's like, oh, me and Thomas are friends. We're childhood friends. Take it easy on him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know, man. I guess Thomas is one of the good ones, right? Because
Exactly.
he
That's
speaks
exactly
good,
what it's supposed to
and all
be.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what he's
Yeah.
representing.
So,
But now we
but
continue on with the
mhm.
part of the story, and we have Denzel, who immediately rips his shirt off and reveals healed scars of past
Scars. Yep.
whippings, and there were quite a few latches there. Like it was very jarring to see that, but he
Oh
didn't he
yeah.
didn't waver. He didn't blink. He took his shirt off. He stared
Yeah.
down Colonel
God,
Shaw
what a fucking
with
scene.
every single
Hmm.
latch. Didn't wince. Didn't turn away. Didn't break down. First of all, that was a lot of freaking like whips or lashes.
It
I was
was
like,
20.
why? I thought they were gonna do
20.
like
I
5 or
counted each one.
3. I thought 3 was a decent number.
I
I'm like, whatever.
know.
And then they hit 10. I was like,
Listen,
oh, we're still going. This is kind of weird. Like, okay,
I counted until the scene when
yeah. The scene went dark.
the scene
Yeah,
changed. Yeah, so we don't even know how much times he got whipped, but there were 20 on screen. I was like, "What the fuck?
yeah. That was kind
Are
of
you not
weird.
gonna stop this
Yeah,
dude?"
I don't know why he
Yeah,
didn't do that. That was kind of weird. Um, but we had a single tear from Denzel.
I took that it was I took it was because of the pain. Um, I I mean, we saw how much times Denzel's Tripp that was Private Tripp. How much times Tripp had been whipped throughout his life, so he's no stranger to that.
Right.
So I don't think um he would find it hard to believe that, because I think he came in feeling like just all these white men are the same, and maybe he got that confirmation bias where it's like, yeah, this is exactly what you are. This is exactly what all of you are. So I I think it was more of the pain. And any realizations he had was just a confirmation that he already had in his mind that this dude is no better than, his masters from when he was enslaved or whatever.
Which, I mean, maybe, and, pain is, comes from different places. I'm not saying the physical act of being whipped, it doesn't hurt. I'm sure I've never been whipped. I don't want to, but I'm sure it feels like ass. But, I think there was an emotional part of that as well. Maybe part of that understanding of like, maybe he was starting to buy in, and then he's like, damn, I let myself like think about it for a second, but yeah, they're the same people.
Yeah, I got you.
Maybe I'm swinging for the fences. I don't know. Fences, Denzel. Yeah.
Can we do the rest of the podcast in Denzel puns?
Sure. But yeah, I think that was a very powerful scene there.
Before we continue, right? Because I want to, if you don't mind us going back just for a quick second, to explore, because you question like, what if the role was casted better? So I have a list of actors who were popular, white male actors who were popular in the 80s, right? So Matthew Broderick is 63 years old right now. So I found people that are within 5 or so years of his age, right? And they would have been popular at that time. So options are, I'm gonna remove some obvious except like Rob Lowe, for example. This is not something for Rob Lowe to do.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about Rob Lowe, but I love Rob Lowe. He's hilarious, but this is not for him, right? But you know Anthony Michael Hall?
Yes.
He's a little bit younger, so he was a child, teen star stuff. Yeah. Kevin Bacon to me is the most like that stands out. That what was Kevin Bacon doing at the time? He's probably fucking busy, but Kevin Bacon would have been an option.
Fucking Tremors. Like, I don't know about that.
You were absolutely right. Tremors was 1990.
Hell yeah.
Right. So
hey, I love Tremors, let me be honest. That's why. I love Tremors.
I actually haven't seen Tremors. I feel
like he was doing Tremors.
Put that on our list.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Who else?
So that's why. You got Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon?
Matt Dillon. He was in There's Something About Mary.
Yeah. I can't see him there either. I'm sorry.
Probably not. Yeah. Tom Cruise. He'd have been just coming off of Top Gun. Top Gun was in 1986, so Tom Cruise was around. He might have swallowed up that whole movie. I don't know. Tom Cruise is such a shining star. Like I don't know. He may have changed, but he would have been better. I think he would have been better than Broderick though.
I mean, I think generally speaking, Tom Cruise is a better actor than Matthew Broderick.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But would that have fit?
I don't know if
he did Rain Man in 1988. Yeah. Definitely not Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox was around that time too. I like Michael J. Fox, but that's not for him. No. Judd Nelson, who was in New Jack City. That we're going to record next week. He was the white cop in that was Ice-T's partner.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him besides that role, so I can't even. I don't know anything about him for real.
And then you also have Johnny Depp.
I could see Johnny Depp, like. I don't know. He was strange because I think he's coming off of Scissorhands right now, so.
Yeah, most likely. Okay, how about John Cusack?
John Cusack is good. I could eat that one. I could do John Cusack.
I could see John Cusack.
Yeah, I could see him.
Ah, shit. He was doing a movie called Say Anything in 1989 also. So maybe all these guys were just busy probably.
Maybe. They were like,
say again?
I was like, I don't know Say Anything. I don't know that one. But
I don't know it either, yeah.
But maybe they were just busy. Maybe they wanted somebody else and they're like,
yeah. Because with Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands was in 1990, so it could have been filming around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay. Well.
Yeah, so maybe no one else was available, but I think John Cusack would have been way better. I think Kevin Bacon obviously would have been way better.
Yeah, Bacon would have been cool. Tom
Yeah,
Cruise, of
but
course. Yeah.
Tom Cruise, of course, yeah. But the rest of these guys are either like comedic actors or they just don't have that thing and they're all busy. So anyway, I just wanted to explore that really quick to see what are other options, like what a different movie would have looked like with someone else in the role.
Okay, so we have the flogging of Denzel Washington happening, and they're making all men watch, which is also like, what the hell was that? Like, you have to know who these people are and where they're coming from. And then he kind of complains
He,
and talks about, oh, he can't connect to them. And I was like, well, duh. Are you bothering to
yeah.
try at all?
Listen, I'm like he risked losing his whole army,
Mm,
because of that.
yeah.
Like they already weren't having the best time with the when I saw Denzel feet, I feel like such a jackass for complaining about my feet hurting after a 6 hour or 8 hour security shift. I'm like, are you kidding me right
Right.
now? Like his feet were all torn up, and
I'm
bruised
surprised he didn't
and
lose them, to
it
be
was
honest. Like, they were
terrible.
really bad.
I
Like, I'm surprised
know.
infection didn't set
Like,
in and he didn't lose his feet. Like, how bad they
yeah,
looked.
in the freaking 1800s, like get the hell out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
But, he was still marching.
Do you think they cut some scenes with Denzel like trying to fight some of those the officers or something, or because there was a lot of times where Denzel was just like side eyeing these guys and I'm like, is he about to fucking like pop off on these dudes?
Yeah, he was definitely
There
hard to
nothing ever
take.
really came of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the military, in the army, it's so clear cut, like, who the boss is. So even if you don't agree,
They,
it's just like, you just gotta suck it up.
yeah, they had that line about how blacks were like best served
Yes.
for the military,
Yes.
or they were like better than like the whites or something.
Yes.
And I'm like, he's saying that shit like it's a compliment, but that it was so gross. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's a trauma response, is what that is.
yeah, because what you're referring to is how they're able to fucking compartmentalize,
Yeah.
from all the fucking torture and the, obscene conditions they were going through
Mm,
during slavery. So yeah, that was just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I did not again, I did not look up if Shaw actually said that or not, but that was just a major oversight on his part to, like, even kind of
Yeah,
like try to celebrate that. It was like, this is clearly a trauma response. Like, yeah, you could treat them like shit,
yeah,
but then they're laughing and jovial, like they're in the fields again. It's just like, all right, bro. Like, where
yeah.
you think that
They're
come from?
repressing their
Like, where
shit.
you think that came from?
Yeah.
Like, in the movie, most of them were like runaway slaves. But in real life, the entire regiment was actually made up of freemen, um, who had just decided to join from the north. So, I think it was even more impactful, the Confederates' proclamation that came down, that any
Mm-hmm.
any person
I
of
like that
color
scene.
that was caught wearing, Union colors or whatever,
Blues. Yeah.
blues,
Mm-hmm.
would immediately put to death or
Mm-hmm.
enslaved. It was just like, oh damn, they
Mm-hmm.
really had, because the real regiment, they were all free. So at that point, like, to actually sign up for something that you might get caught and be dragged into slavery is like,
Oh,
damn.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, when you said they were free, as if they were never enslaved,
Right. Yeah.
how?
They're from the north. There was free men.
Slavery wasn't abolished yet.
Yeah, but some slaves, bought their freedom in some way, and then their children were then free.
Oh, okay, 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 okay,
Either
okay.
earned
I
or
get you.
bought their freedom, or it was
That's
given to
interesting.
them by their, master, and then once they moved to the north, then their children were then free or whatever. Um,
Okay, I got you. I did forget that there were places where blacks were gaining their freedom even before
yeah, even
the
before it
proclamation went
became
out. I did
slavery
forget about that.
outlawed. That's essentially, and
Yeah.
even though they claim that is not the reason for the Civil War, that's what they were fighting for. for the right to
Yeah.
do what? The right to own black
Yeah.
people. So there were, in the
Yeah.
North and some other parts, there were free slaves. There were free men, um, that were black.
So they decided to play it instead that you guys were enslaved, you're free, but you might return to slavery if you do the war. So they spun that,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Which I don't know if it's worse. I don't know if it's you were a slave, you're free, now you might be a slave again, versus you've never been a slave and now you will be. But I don't know which one is worse.
Never been a slave, but not so far removed
Right,
you don't know what slavery is like, right?
Sure.
So it's not like they can't. Like, if someone tells us right now we might be a slave, we'd be like, what the fuck? I don't want to be a slave. But we don't really have anything to, like, draw from that,
Right.
you know? We have people out here going to work, calling it a fucking plantation, and you get paid and shit for your job.
Yeah.
You know, like, we have no frame of reference, you know?
Yeah.
But whereas your parents were, were slaves, right? Enslaved. And so you have firsthand, like, well, it's like a secondhand, but you're right up against the whole slavery versus freedom thing. You can actually relate and be like, I do not want to go into that.
For sure. I would rather die.
Yeah.
For sure. Or die for the cause, versus just kind of sitting at home.
But I did like that scene though, with the whole proclamation. That was a good scene.
Yeah. Mans was like, oh, how many of them left? And Mans just stared at him. I was like, so you weren't gonna say nothing? He turned the corner and everybody's there. I was like, you could have just said no one left. But I guess it was more impactful from the turn the corner. When Denzel was being his anti-hero and his very kind of aggressive, kind of like, you guys are all house ninjas and all that stuff, and you drinking the Kool-Aid, and we, they know different. When Morgan Freeman busted the softest slap I ever seen, I gasped. I audibly gasped. I was like, why he hit that man with kitten gloves like that? Like, that was crazy. But it made me. But he shut up though. He didn't say another word. But his face didn't even turn. It was like the softest, slowest slap I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
It made me feel like was he not supposed to do that? Like, did he just do it and he just rolled with it? I didn't look into it, but it just didn't seem like it was like supposed to happen. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. No, that just got a laugh from me. Like I said, Morgan Freeman, because actually I feel like it took a while for Morgan Freeman to do anything. He was just kind of like there for a while, and then every now and again he would interact, and it's like, that's why Morgan Freeman is like, because at first you're like, why is Morgan Freeman in this? And then you see why he's in this. It's like he's like a steady hand, when they were in that same tent scene earlier, and I think it was that tent, one of the tent scenes, and Morgan Freeman's trying to like tell Denzel cool out. And what did he ask him? He asked him, "Are you a free man or a free woman or something?" What did he ask him?
Yeah. When he first had come up with the idea that he wanted to go to the
that's when
to
it
the
was
farm,
to run off. Yeah, so it was a second.
He was like, "You better chill out." Like, "You're a free man or a free woman?" He was like, my boy put his his hat down. He's like, "Whatever. I warned you. Do whatever you got to do at that point."
Hey, Denzel was firing from the hip. I was like, damn, like he does not fuck with any of these guys. But yeah, so but those interactions were really good. Can we talk a bit about Andre Braugher's character? We haven't really spent too much time on him.
Yeah, we could hit him. We could hit on him for sure.
His was very interesting. With him, and for this being his first movie role, like, wow, right? Mm-hmm. But him being friends with Shaw and then immediately joining the army, right? To fight for the cause.
Yeah.
And he was a free man. He had never seen slavery or whatever, right. And he got roughed the fuck up.
Yeah, just that Scottish dude hated
through this
him.
training and everything.
Like, it felt like legit hate. Which they always say, we don't hate you, we're just trying to train you. Which, nah, that felt like something was wrong. I think he was really. I think he, of course, Andre Braugher's character, Private Thomas, he challenged what was expected of African Americans, Black people, people of color, whatever you want to use right now,
Hmm.
because he was educated. He was from the North. He dressed well. He read well.
Hmm.
He was friends with Thomas. I'm sorry. He was friends with Colonel Shaw.
Shaw.
They grew up
Mm.
together, according to Colonel Shaw. Like, what, you have to imagine.
And Shaw's a big
Yeah,
deal.
Shaw's
He's a
family
big
is a
deal.
big
Yeah.
deal. Like, he has front row seats to Governor Andrew, for the governor of
Hmm.
Massachusetts, Frederick Douglass. Like,
Hanging out with Frederick
yeah,
Douglass.
so
Yeah, that
these
was a
are
nice
like, yeah, that
cameo.
was a nice cameo.
Mm.
Like Frederick Douglass essentially pushed for a lot of these things, pushed for the Proclamation of Emancipation and Proclamation. Damn, I said it wrong. uh yeah, Emancipation Proclamation, push for
Yeah.
the desegregation of armies and all these things. So push for these regiments to exist. So Frederick Douglass is a civil rights leader before the Martin Luther King civil rights leader, and he had a front row
Correct.
seats to people. So if he knows Shaw, his family must also be very well known, very well connected as well. So he was kind of like the not expected person, and I think not expected stereotypical black person. So I think the Irish dude kind of like took it out on him specifically for that reason.
It's hard to say. You're probably right. I think there's an angle of it being that um, Thomas came from more of I don't want to say, it's hard to say that any blacks had a pampered life or whatever in the fucking 1800s, but it could be that he was really trying to toughen him up and get him prepared for some of these things out here, but it's just hard to separate, and that's why racism is tricky, right? It's very hard to separate someone's actions from, like, are you being racist, or is this the process, for whatever's going on right now, right? Or are you just being an asshole? Are you just a regular run of the mill asshole? Like, it's so hard to fucking tell. And I mean, it's fucking 1863. Most, if not all, the white guys were racist in some form or fashion,
Yeah,
right?
even the
But
dudes
was
who
that?
were
But
even the dudes that were fighting in the Union, fighting for the freedom
yeah,
of black people, are still treating them like less than.
yeah,
So
yeah, right. So I guess the question is, well, even though that guy is most definitely a racist, given the fucking time, was his implicit biases and racism, is that what was leading him to treat Thomas that way or not? Right. So, and then does that even matter? Right.
mhm.
So it was just interesting seeing Thomas go through everything and persevere. I thought Thomas was done. From like the first battle they fought.
Oh, he got
And
shot.
Thomas, yeah. And then I thought he was gonna be the first one to get killed when they were making the move on Fort Wagner. And he actually made it pretty long in that. So it was just very interesting. And it's seeing his eyes get open
Mm,
to something that a Denzel character already knew, which was, yeah, like, you and Shaw, you think you're friends or whatever, but there's a limit to that friendship.
yeah,
It's not unconditional friendship.
yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah,
At the end of the day, he's a white man, you're a colored person,
yeah,
right? And that barrier right there puts a limit on your friendship.
yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
an
that
automatic
was
imbalance
interesting
of
seeing
power.
him.
What do you feel? How did you feel? And this gonna be a tough question, but I'm gonna ask you. How would you feel? Slash, what would you have done in the scenario, the scene in which I don't remember the other colonel's name, but the other colonel who was also in charge of the other uh, all black regiment, who I think they call them
Hmm.
the
That's to do with a mustache.
yeah, the pilgrimage regiment,
Mm.
or okay, whatever. The people who were clearly just going and stealing stuff essentially is what they were doing. Even from people
Hmm.
who weren't against, or or weren't military folks or whatever. So in the scene, the general or colonel, I think he's still a colonel. The colonel gives the order to Matthew Broderick's character to first to his men to steal all you can, essentially, and then follow up with telling Broderick's regiment, or telling Matthew Broderick to tell his men to now set fire to this town that didn't seem like anybody was in there. If they were, they weren't doing anything like military related.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel in that scene, and what you might have done if you were Matthew Broderick, which is a rough question to ask, but
Well, yeah, I don't know how you want me to answer that, but
fine. What would you have
that
done?
scene
How
was
do you feel about
actually
it? How about that? Tell me your feelings now.
that scene was actually it was very puzzling for me, and it could be because I was kind of like nodding off to.
Oh shit, Jesus Christ.
No, man, like
You got a new baby.
there's
I'll
a
leave
full
you
recall
alone.
here.
I said
there's a full recall here.
I gave it to you already. You have a baby.
Thank
I'll
you.
leave you
Thank
alone. Man's asleep.
Thank you.
Alright.
But no, it was very confusing to me, honestly, what was going on in that scene. I really didn't follow why that was happening, and what the point of that was supposed to be. So I would be interested in hearing your take on it, because I remember watching, like, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why is this the action that's being taken here? And I missed that part.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I wanted to hear your opinion, because I know you're not in the military, right? And I am. So I did have a specific interpretation. Not that I've seen, like, obviously I've not burned down villages or anything, so no one arrest me, but I do have a perspective. So I just wanted to see like how you took it, but I will answer your question. So I think, and this is purely my opinion, I think that it was also Matthew Broderick's kind of awakening that even though they're all in the army, the men that he is over is still seen as less than. I mean, there was more than enough hints, but I think that it really drove home in this scene here. Like, there was hints, and now it's very obvious, because they were never ever supposed to see battle. They were never ever, they're not smart enough. They're not,
Correct.
agile enough. Whatever the answer is, they don't know what to do with a rifle. There was several references to them being monkeys and to them being, uncorn educated, whatever. So they were never supposed to see battle. So all they were good for was labor and pillaging these areas and these towns, which all it did was reinforce they aren't good for anything. So you kind of had your bad apple who's leading this group, and he's like kind of coming off as like, oh, I'm the guy look at me. It was kind of like the look at me. I'm leading this group of black men, even though I don't have to. But even though this person was a leader, he wasn't truly a leader. But he was in a position of authority because he is a commissioned officer in the army, and you have to follow their order. Broderick, right here, is faced with his choice of doing what is right or doing what is wrong. And unfortunately, he chooses wrong. But he chooses wrong because still at this point, he has not accepted that in order to actually lead these men the way he needs to lead them, he needs to give up what I want to call his protection of whiteness. And he's not able to do that. And because of that, he kind of... And it doesn't mean that he's still not a white guy. I'm not saying, start being stereotypically black, whatever that looks like. But there's a certain protection that comes with whiteness. And in order to be truly like, I am part of this group and I want to do better for this group, you have to give that up. And not many people are going to give that up. That's the whole thing. There's a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I don't see color, blah, 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 but benefit. But then have no idea how they benefit. It's like, you just benefit just from existing. You don't even have to do anything. And that's the crazy part.
Yep.
You literally don't have to do anything.
And that part right there is what a lot of them, even the well-intentioned, nice, cool to hang out with, open-minded white person, they miss that is literally inherent privilege that you don't have to actively go out and be like flaunt your whiteness or whatever to receive benefits or privileges. It's just coded, with our culture. In our culture,
Yeah.
it's just coded, hard coded. It's just there, So you have it's passive. You can be very passive. You don't have to do anything actively,
Yeah.
and you are going to receive more privileges or benefits or better treatment, 9 times out of 10 when compared to a person of color.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He had backing. He had power because of himself, because of his name, because of his family, because of his rank. And he just like completely was like, nah, this other white guy is saying I can't do it, so I guess I can't. Which is just weird because he had the power inherently. Again, just showing like his weakness.
He had, if I'm remembering correctly, he already had flexed that power when he got them the shoes and supplies.
Yes, because they were in uniform at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know.
Yeah, the scene kind of didn't make sense where it was. It should have like been a little bit earlier. Then it would have made more sense. But where it was, he already had the power. But inherently, he had the power by his family name and his rank. But he was just like,
that scene. To me, one of the most impactful scenes in the movie was when Shaw went to go give Private Tripp the commendation.
Oh, when after the first battle. Okay.
Yeah, after the first battle, when they had that dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he say Sergeant Rollins has recommended you receive a commendation, and Tripp said, yes, sir. And Shaw says, and I think you should bear the regimental colors. Which essentially just means carry the flag in the battle, which I didn't get that until the end of the exchange with them there. And Shaw's like, it's considered quite an honor, why not? And Tripp says, like, he says, I'm not fighting this war for you, And he says, what's the point? He said, ain't nobody gonna win. It's just gonna go on and on. And as Shaw says, it can't go on forever. Tripp says, yeah, but ain't nobody gonna win. Shaw insists that somebody's gonna win, and Tripp asks him, who? I mean, you get to go back to Boston, big house and all that. What about us? What do we get?
Mm-hmm.
And that whole exchange right there, it was so heavy, just so powerful. Mm-hmm. And, you could look forward to just this happens in 1863, and you jump forward 100 years to the 1960s, and you're dealing with the civil rights movements and stuff, and you're still fighting. We are still fighting. You understand what I'm saying? And it hasn't been 100 years from there as yet, but we're on pace, and it's where are we going right now? Not to get too heavy political, but we're dealing with Black history. Black history is the conversation.
It's not pretty.
It isn't.
No.
And again, we don't know if this dialogue is real or anything, but as far as the movie is considered,
they're telling a story, so yeah.
Yeah, this was very powerful for this movie, for what the Civil War was, what it meant, and for what we will go through when that past the Civil War, and what we as Blacks, African Americans, what we're still going through in this country. We fight these wars. We're always fighting some type of war, fighting some type of battle, and it's like, when do we win? Right? When do we? We win little battles. We do win battles here and there and stuff, but this war is keeps raging. It's been raging since the 1860s, and here we are, 165 years later, 161 years later since it ended, and obviously things are better, but where is that equality? Where is that fairness, that respect? Where are all of those things? Yeah. So and the final line in the exchange was Shaw said it stinks. Tripp said, yeah, it stinks bad, and we all covered up in it. No, Tripp says it stinks bad and we all cover up in it. I mean, ain't nobody clean. Be nice to get clean though. And Shaw asked him, how do we do it? And Tripp said, we ante up and kick in, sir. But I still don't want to carry your flag.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got a laugh out of that, just and of course, like I immediately went to think about Colin Kaepernick, right? And that whole situation and how when we talk about what does the flag mean? What does the flag mean to the country? What does the flag mean to individuals within the country? What does the flag mean to individuals of certain complexion, and cultural identity within the country, and how that's perceived by other people? Like that line was just very powerful for me,
Yeah.
Especially given where we're at. So.
And actually, I had that note here on one of my things. I don't know if it was the beginning or the middle of the movie, but either way, they were kind of celebrating them a little bit, and they had the all-black children's choir singing My Country 'Tis of Thee. And I was like,
yes.
Forcing these children to sing My Country 'Tis of Thee when not one of those lyrics actually apply to them is diabolical. Like, holy shit. I rolled my eyes at that scene. I was like, come on, bro. My Country 'Tis of Thee.
Those are Harlem Boys Choir or whatever. I saw they got credits for.
All right, so one of the things we didn't get to talk about yet is the blatant inequality that happened, in which the black soldiers were paid $10 a month. Which, Jesus, $10 a month is wild. I can't even imagine getting $10 in my pocket right now for a month worth of work.
So I did a conversion.
Oh, what is it?
I did a conversion. Yeah. So it was supposed to be $13 a month, right?
Yeah, the white soldiers.
So
in
today's money, so in today's money, that's $334.41.
Jesus, not enough.
Which is still not a lot for a month.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do for that.
That's grocery shopping for a couple weeks. It
depends on how big your family is.
Yeah. And then so the $10 that the blacks were getting equates to $257.24.
Yeah, which is just wild.
However, I also read that that's still not even completely accurate, because that $10 they were actually receiving 7 of those dollars, and 3 of it was garnished for their uniforms. So the $7 actually equates to $180.07 a month is what those guys were making.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, just blatant, just inequality. Even when you're wearing the same colors as them, you're still not treated the same. Like any person who's in the military knows that enlisted people do not pay for uniforms. You don't pay for anything really. Like all your food's taken care of, your household stuff is taken care of, all your uniforms are taken care of. When you're officer, you're a different story. Like you have to pay for all your shit, which is annoying as hell because uniforms are expensive. But it's cool.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.
You slipped that in there.
Either way, so yeah, they were just being, they were just getting raked in several. I said raped, by the way, in several different ways. It took more than a year. I mean, in the movie, they kind of like they did the whole. I think Matthew Broderick was like, if you guys aren't getting paid, I'm not getting paid either, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Denzel incited it because at first they were so used to just being not paid fairly that they were like, yeah, $10 is a lot of money still. I'm not gonna take that.
I guess we gave money.
Denzel's like, no, don't take that. Don't take it. Come on now, don't take that. And then one loud voice, and then a couple of people picked up, and then now you have a whole insurgence of like, oh yeah, you're right, this isn't right, and they started ripping up their little pay stub thing. I'm not really sure what that paper was.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure what that was. But either way.
The check? I don't know. It was too big for a check. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what that thing was. But either way, we started ripping it up symbolically, and of course, it took more than a year actually for Congress to fix it so that everybody was getting equal pay, which is just.
Yeah,
and they didn't take pay that entire year. So not only were these men not getting any food, any money, but you could imagine that their families, many of them young men, weren't getting any money back home because what
I was wondering, because I saw what you saw, that it did eventually get the pay, but a lot of those men died.
Oh,
So
yeah.
did that money go to their families, or did they just write it off
Nah, they had to have sent it. I mean, if they were following
to their
correctly, you
families?
have to send it home.
Yeah, it will go to their family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess what about the ones who didn't have any family, right?
Yeah,
Because some of
yeah.
them,
I don't know about
yeah.
that part.
But
Yeah. Or if they couldn't find him. Like it was oh well, we could talk about it a little bit when we move into the campfire scene with Denzel. He alluded that he didn't have any family and that he had murdered his mom,
correct.
which I assume meant that, you know, she died during childbirth and he didn't actually
childbirth.
yeah, and he didn't
Yeah,
actually kill
yeah.
her.
That's how
But
I
the way
read
he
that
said
too.
it, I was like, "Did you kill your mom, bro?" But and I was like, "Okay, I
I was
think he
like,
means
whoa, dude.
during
Wait
childbirth
till become
or
unlikable.
something." You know, which is, you know, you can't. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that kind of carrying that kind of guilt and pain around of like
That's
you being
heavy.
the cause of your mother's
That's
death.
heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was one of your favorite scenes, the campfire scene. You want to go into it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this scene here, which leads us into the battle, which we already talked a lot about, but the campfire scene was very powerful. Just starting off with the spiritual that they were singing, and just all the guys just, you know, in harmony and just singing, and then they started breaking off with testimonials essentially. And the guy with a stutter, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I don't have his name, but he let it off first, and he demonstrated. Our guy learned how to read.
He did.
You know,
He got
because
the
there
good
was
book.
a comment about
Yeah.
yeah, he learned how to read. Even his stutter was it was less, you know, than it was before. And so when literally if that only happened, I would have been good with it. I really like the scene from there. But then Morgan Freeman got up. What's his Rollins, Major Sergeant Rollins. He got up and spoke, and I mean it's Morgan Freeman, man. Any speech Morgan Freeman gives, you're gonna be, you know, all in on it.
Yeah.
And then Denzel came and brought it home, and his speech was very interesting because it wasn't like a Denzel speech, right? We talked about this before, where, you know, Denzel gets like animated and he's like riling up the men and all this stuff, and his character Tripp showed a side of vulnerability that we hadn't really seen. Even when he was being whipped, yeah, he did shed a tear, but the vulnerability that he showed in that scene, and you know, he got up to speak and he didn't know what to say, and then just Morgan Freeman being there encouraging him, and when Tripp said, "This feels funny," it just felt so real. You know, like, I know, you know, you're like in Bible study back in the day, or you just in a room of shit, and you have to like talk about like your feelings or talk about your relationship with God or something, and you feel silly, and just hearing him say that shit out loud was like, this just feels funny, and Morgan Freeman just being like, you're doing great, you know. It was just a very emotional scene, very powerful scene, and you know, they were keeping the chanting going on in the background with the clapping and so forth, the rhythmic clapping.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful scene to help lead us into, you know, the end of the movie. I really did enjoy all of that.
Yeah, I concur. I think it was very well done. I don't think I have much to add to that one. You laid it out pretty good.
Yeah.
I looked up his name real quick. Jimmy Kennedy. His
Okay,
name
thank
is
you.
Jimmy Kennedy.
Is that the actor or the character's name?
No, that's the actor's name, Jimmy Kennedy. The actor's
Jimmy
the
Kennedy.
character's name was
Okay.
Private Sharts. Sharts.
Sharts. Okay. Sharts. Okay, that's a tough name.
Yeah, Sharts is
We could've did better
rough.
than
I would
that.
have stuttered too because Jesus Christ. Sharts is
All right,
not
Jimmy Kennedy.
a
Okay,
good,
yeah,
good last name.
yeah. That's I don't know, that Jimmy Kennedy. I don't know. Is he? Yeah, he's not. Yes, even on Wikipedia, his name's not even highlighted. So I don't know if he did any other acting and stuff, but he did really good in this movie. I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know.
His role, his little, you know, mini character arc in there.
Started-
So I
started
do have Denzel's speech where he was addressing the 54th. Just if I can just read that real quickly. So what he says when he's around a campfire, he says, "I ain't much about no praying now. I ain't never had no family and killed off my mama. Well, y'all's the onlyest family I got. I love the 54th. Ain't even much it matter what happens tomorrow. Cause we men, ain't we? We men." And but the last thing I want to add to this is this speech and this scene was so powerful. Even though I feel like the movie could have done more to show his growth and the growing affection he has for the 54th, I feel like the movie could have done a better job. But Denzel just did such an amazing job delivering the line, and the scenario, the scene was well edited and directed. I mean, so it was conveyed.
Yeah.
Like I believe that these guys were really, he didn't care about these guys before, and I believe that he does love these guys and he's ready to go to war with them. So yeah.
I thought the "we men ain't we" was like, I was like, that's such a man statement. Like you ain't gonna know what to say. You just like, "We men ain't we?" Like
I know.
Okay.
It was such a short. It was so short. Like it was not like some verbose dialogue or speech that he gave. It was very minuscule, and it was just all emotion. That's all emotion.
Yeah, it was all in his face. Like the tears. I think he cried a little, and
he turned away from the crowd. He turned away from the crowd and then turned back.
He started clapping along and stuff like that. So and a very aggressive clap. I don't know what he was doing, but he was not going along with the beat. But hey, Tripp was there. All right.
All right.
All right. All right. Bring us home with our rankings. What do you got?
All right. Let's rate this thing. So for our criteria, we rate based on 5 criteria. We have plot and writing, acting and casting, production, cinematography, visuals. We have music and sound, and cultural impact are the categories that we rate. Starting with plot and writing, I gave it a 6.
Okay. That's a solid number. Do you have a why?
Yeah. I actually toyed between a 6 and a 5, and I ended up doing the 6. The reason being is that all the what I was talking about prior with, I just wish the story focused on something else more than 54. I know I've said that a few times on this already, but that's the big reason for because I can't argue with the plot. It's a historical account, but I just wish that they had just focused more on the infantrymen and given us their story versus it was more of Shaw's story, and we saw him interacting with the guy. So I gave it a 6.
Okay. So I originally gave it a 7, mostly because like you said, it's hard to argue with a historical reenactment or account of something that is technically kind of true with some, movie flourish in there. But I dropped it down to the 6 officially because of what you actually brought up, which is, yes, it would have been a much better, more impactful story to hear, the reenactment or the assumptions, whatever we want to say there, of the 54th Massachusetts, so that, we could get that other perspective a little more in our face than kind of just hinted at.
Okay. Cool. Acting and casting, I gave it an 8. And those 2 points knocked off were because of Matthew Broderick. I didn't. Sorry, Matthew Broderick, you're fine. It's just for this movie, it wasn't his part was not working for me at all. However, pretty much everyone else in the supporting cast I thought was excellent. So I give it an 8.
Yeah. I'm a little lower than you. By 1. I gave it a 7.
Okay.
Because of Matthew Broderick. He literally knocked it down. Anyone else, it probably would have been a 10. But yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Okay. Next category is production, cinematography, and visuals. And I gave that a 9.
Wow.
What did you give that?
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
But again,
I didn't.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
I was just gonna say, very strong camera work, very strong. Like I felt like I was, like I had to actually look it up a little bit. Like, dang, what kind of visuals did they use for this? Like, did they do something else? Like, it felt like you were really there. Like when the sand was covering them, I felt like they really couldn't see and stuff. I was like, damn, I probably would have had sand in my eyes and stuff, especially during the final battle. But I thought it was very well shot. So I gave it a very strong 8. I could creep up to 9, but I'll keep it at 8 for now.
Yeah, no, same. It was just excellent. For a movie like this and the time it was done in,
Yeah.
it never came off as cheesy or campy or anything or cheap looking.
Yeah.
Like, it just, everything looked great.
Yeah.
Next category, music and sound. I give a 10 for that category.
I also gave a 10. Like, that was just an excellent
Nice.
score.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, to me, there were certain scenes, and I wrote it down, but I can't find it in my notes. I don't know why. But there were certain scenes that, like, the music really superseded whatever the hell else was going on the screen. Like, I really didn't even care. It was just listening to it. It was, he did a hell of a job. So I gave it a 10 as well.
Yeah, soaring horns and the use of
My oboe in there.
wind instruments. Yeah, the wind, the upper winds. Just the theme was very nice and catchy. You could hear it when it came back, and there were times where, like you said, the music was carrying the scene. There was a lot of times where it was working in tandem. It was just perfectly scored, and it was always interesting. And the music let you know that it was there without being in your face.
Yeah, it wasn't never
once took
loud
away
and, like,
from
ridiculous.
anything.
Like, damn, I can't hear nothing because they're screaming horns. It was just, like, perfectly placed. So kudos to them for sure.
And for the final category, cultural impact, I gave it an 8 for that.
I also gave it an 8. Yes. I mean, telling the story of the first, or one of the first, with our knowledge of the Kansas infantry, is always impactful. It's always impactful to kind of learn more about the history, especially from, like I said, for me, I had not seen this movie, so I don't think I knew very much about the 54th until, like, now. So
same.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add than that. I mean, it was, at least in the 90s, showed in schools, and it's an educational piece of Black history. It really is. It stands the test of time. Every generation should watch it, because I don't think enough is known about the role and impact that Black Americans had during the Civil War.
Yes.
And they talk a lot about, our freedom was given to, no, we had to fight for our freedom. Well, but, our people had to fight for that freedom. We were active participants. We weren't just sitting there waiting for, somebody to sign a paper and be like, all right, you guys will go, do your own thing. No, there was a war fought on the basis of this. And a lot of the people in it were, because after this happened, I think we stated, other Black infantries were created, based off of what the 54th did. So it is a very impactful piece of culture. I don't know how much it's still shown and referenced, and I don't know if this generation of kids know about it. That's why it's not a 10 for me, because I don't know if the staying power, unfortunately, is there. Not for any lack of the movie, just because of where we are as a society. We're not prioritizing this type of education and whatnot in the schools these days. But gave it an 8, strong 8.
Yeah. Okay. Overall, I think a great movie. Denzel knocked it out of the park. 100% deserved the nod and the win. Morgan Freeman, of course. Andrew Barr, of course. 9-9.
Mm-hmm.
So
get 9-9.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys killed it, and they're the reasons why they were and are considered, Hollywood greats in the community for sure.
Awesome. Well, that will do it for our real talk and banter on the movie Glory. Thanks for listening today. To connect with us, to give us some feedback, or just say hello, email us at realtalkbanter@gmail.com. That's REEL banter@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Are you a free man or a free woman?
There it is.